the programs in the School of Communications. Before we get started, I'd like to have the Director of Graduate Admissions, Lynn Rebar, say a few words to introduce us and start us off. So go ahead, Lynn.
Great, thanks, Tom. Hi, everybody. Before we get to the meat of the program, I want to welcome everyone today. I am Lynn Rebar. I am the Director of Graduate Admission, and I've been with Point Park since 2003. I've participated in many of these events, and normally we do get together on campus and really just kind of have conversation at tables and have dinner. And that's traditionally the way our event works, and we get a chance to talk with each other, and the students get a chance to ask questions of faculty and staff and students. Obviously, today we're not able to do that, but instead of dwelling on what we can't do, we'll focus on the fact that hopefully we can get a lot of information about the programs out this way and replicate that experience in a virtual world. So that's our goal here today. So appreciate everyone's joining us here today. Tom, as he mentioned, who introduced me, is our expert in the school comm programs. So the bulk of our program today will be him going over the information on those programs. And we're fortunate to have with us today two faculty members, Dr. Steve Halleck from the School of Communication and Dr. Arch Maharaja from the School of Business. Both of them are amazing, experienced Point Park faculty members who oversee all of the graduate programs in their particular schools. Dr. Halleck, of course, in the School of Communication, oversees all of those programs and has many years of experience as an author and an editor, instructor, educator, reporter. You know, he's kind of done it all in that field, and we're really fortunate to have him with us. And Dr. Maharaja, with many years of experience in business at all levels, including his own company, financial planning, certified financial planner, certified public accountant. So lots of experience there from two of our very esteemed faculty members. And they're so important because in any program, the faculty are really the key to the student success and the student experience. And you won't find any more dedicated than what we have at Point Park. So I want to thank both of them for being here, and they'll be a part of the program later on. Basically today, Tom is going to share with you information about Point Park and the programs. And before I step aside and let him do that, I'll just say that we think that Point Park is a wonderful choice for graduate school for many reasons. We have always been career focused, always been adult student focused, and always been very flexible. And I think in these times, those traits are even more important. Whether it's class schedules, class sizes, program formats, we've always focused on the needs of the students. And given conditions today, we're prepared to handle whatever comes at us and to make sure that you succeed in whatever method we need to use to get you through the program. We're also really proud of our status as a growing and dynamic institution and of a great campus, which we're looking forward to going back to in the fall, safely, of course. We've worked a lot to constantly enhance our campus footprint and expand it and make it a good place for students to learn. And our downtown location is really helpful for students that want to network and do internships and take advantage of the many opportunities that a city like Pittsburgh has to offer. And finally, just from an economic standpoint, obviously we're all focused today on financial matters in our lives in an uncertain world. We know that a graduate degree is certainly a significant cost, but we think of it as an investment in yourself that will pay off in your marketability and your career trajectory. And we're very focused on affordability and making sure you get value at Point Park. And whether it's our program content, our faculty, or other mechanisms that we use, we have available to help make your degree more affordable, whether it's discounts, scholarships, grants. Tom will talk a little bit about some of those in other parts of the presentation, but we're really committed to making your degree as affordable as possible. We know that's a very, very important part of any student's choice. So we're very conscious of that. Okay, so we're gonna, as I mentioned, Tom's going to talk about the programs and Point Park in general, and we hope that you will take advantage of the opportunity to ask questions. Feel free to use the chat box to ask any questions that you would like to have answered that we don't address, because there usually is something. And with that, I hope to welcome you to campus this fall, and I will turn things over to Tom. Thanks, Tom.
All right, thank you so much, Lynn. So yeah, Lynn basically already said what I'm about to do here, but I'm just going to go through and give some some information about Point Park University, some information about the admissions process, and a little bit of information about each different program in the School of Communications. And as Lynn mentioned, if anybody has any questions about anything that we may not touch on, or it's just something that's on your mind, feel free to use the chat box to ask. And at the end, I'll kind of go through all of those questions and make sure that everybody's questions are answered. So some of the positives about doing graduate school at Point Park are that we have small class sizes. We have experienced faculty, as Lynn mentioned, all the experience that Dr. Halleck and Dr. Maharaja have. We have a number of other faculty who are very experienced in their respective fields, which is very good to have. We have a convenient downtown Pittsburgh location. It's centrally located and relatively easy to get to. It's also ideal for people who may already be working downtown. The campus is right there with downtown at your fingertips. As for the class schedule, our graduate programs follow a class schedule that has working people in mind. So most of the classes will be in the evening at 6 o'clock, or have an online option, or sometimes a Saturday option. But we do kind of design things around people who are working full-time during the day. So if you're worried about that aspect of your schedule, we have some options for you. Point Park does offer graduate assistantships, and the School of Communications usually does. I know that the one, we just filled one for this fall. I don't think there's one open right now, but you can, oh, it is? Sorry.
That's correct, there's not.
Okay, yeah. But I do like to tell people that could change. And the graduate assistantships are always listed on the careers page on Point Park's website. So even if there's not one available now, I think it's worth checking somewhat regularly to see if one may open up. And even outside of the School of Communications, sometimes a graduate assistantship will open up that's open to all graduate students. That's like for the university at large. So that's definitely something worth checking out. And we also have our Graduate Student Association, which is something that we I believe just started up again last year, which is a really nice resource for graduate students to have. It allows you to have some support and do some networking, and it makes the experience a lot better. I know the GSA does a lot of really great work. So those are some people that you may want to reach out to as well. Even if you're just curious about things, they could be some really great people to talk to. So those are just kind of like a little overview of some of the unique and good things that are offered by Point Park for our graduate students. So just to touch on the admissions process for our programs, we do have some requirements once you submit an application. You need to submit official transcripts from all schools that you attended. That includes like where you earned your bachelor's degree from, and if you went to any other schools for transfer credits. You know, it's pretty common for someone to go to a place like CCAC and then transfer and finish the degree. We'll need transcripts from all of the places that you've attended. We also need a statement of purpose, a current resume, and 2 letters of recommendation. Once we have all of those documents from you, your file will be reviewed, and you should have a admissions decision within 1 to 2 weeks. If you have all of your documents ready to go, it is a relatively quick process. We do have rolling admissions at Point Park University, which means there is not a deadline to apply by. You can apply and be admitted right up until classes are about to start, which is good. And these programs do have like fall and spring starts. So you can start in the fall semester or the spring semester, which is nice too. It gives you a little bit of flexibility. So that's kind of like a gist of what you need if you're wanting to apply to the programs.
If I could add something about the downtown location, that's also real handy for students who are pursuing internships, because we're pretty centrally located to the companies and organizations that work with us for interns.
Yeah, thanks for adding that, Steve. That's something that I totally forgot. We have like all of the diverse array of businesses that are downtown. Those are all at our fingertips as well as far as internship opportunities. And I know that our grad students within the School of Communication have had some really great internship experiences. So that's,
those internships lead to jobs.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Thanks, Steve. So yeah, we already touched on some of the graduate assistantship options. We do offer other financial aid options like scholarships, grants, payment plans. Employer reimbursement is something that we commonly see as well. That's kind of up to your employer. And then we have various discount programs. We have a discount program for alumni that we just started doing. That's pretty exciting. And we do offer loans through our Office of Financial Aid as well. So there are a number of options for you as far as financial aid goes and things like that. So within the School of Communication, we have 5 programs right now: media communication, communication technology, PR and advertising, environmental journalism, and then the concurrent program, which is the MA and MBA program. With the exception of the dual concurrent program, these programs are 36 credits and they're designed to take 2 years to complete. If you do 9 credits per semester, that's 4 semesters. And if you're in the School of Communications programs, you will have access to like the School of Communications has a few studios and different facilities on campus that are really nice. So you'll have access to everything that's within the School of Communications as well. So just to kind of,
most of these programs have a spring or fall start date. The MA MBA program, the MBA school, the School of Business is real good at offering courses in the summer. So
yeah.
if you were in the MA MBA program, you could conceivably begin that program in the summer.
Yeah, and I have I've had a few people do that before, so that's a good note as well. All these programs are offered in the spring and the fall, and then that program maybe even the summer as well. So I just like to go through each program here, and again, I just want to give some quick information about each one, and then if we want to go in depth with more questions later, we can. So the media communications degree. You can choose between 2 concentrations, the journalism or the documentary concentration. I have the core courses listed here. These are like the core courses for the School of Communication, which you will take in most of the communications programs in one form or another. So in this program, you take 15 credits of those core courses and then 21 credits within the concentration that you choose, journalism or documentary.
If I can add to those core courses, students can be waived from some of them if they've taken the exact same course as an undergraduate. For example, media ethics or media law. Frequently, students have taken that very same course as undergraduates. So I will typically waive them from having to take that course again. If they have a strong writing background, maybe they have newspaper writing experience or broadcast writing experience, I might waive them from the basic news writing course.
Awesome. Yeah, that kind of, I forgot to mention that as well. And that's a very positive thing as well, that we're able to waive you from these courses if you've taken them before. So we have the media communication program. We also have the communication technology program. This is our program that is also offered in a fully online option. And the different concentrations within this program, we have applied practices and social media. As it says in the name, this program kind of focuses on like the technological aspects of the field of communications. You can also pick between the 2 different tracks, the thesis or the professional track. As you can maybe guess, the thesis track is for people who are maybe more interested in an academic career, and then the professional track is for people who want to go directly into the workforce, have a professional career. And again, you have like the 12 credits of those core courses, and then 12 credits within your concentration, and then 6 credits of electives and 6 within your like that thesis or professional track within that. And then we have the PR and advertising program, which is brand new. We're running our very first cohort of it this fall. This program actually used to be one of the concentrations under the media communication program, but we split it off into its own program so that we could kind of allow students to focus and specialize on this even more, because it was a pretty popular concentration that people wanted. So we're really excited about that coming up and running our first cohort of that. We also have another new program running for the first time this fall, the environmental journalism program, which also is kind of in that same boat, where it used to be a concentration under media communications, but we kind of split it off into its own program to allow more focus, more specialization, everything else. And within this program, the coursework also includes taking some science credits within the School of Arts and Sciences, which is pretty cool. So we're really excited about those two brand new programs that we're running this fall as well. And then the MA MBA concurrent program, which I think most of the people who joined us here today said that they were interested in this program. So this one is 54 credits, and when you are finished, you have 2 master's degree. You have the MA in Media Communications, and you have the MBA degree as well. It takes 54 credits, and you will have kind of like 2 academic advisors. If you're in this program, you'll have Dr. Halleck in the School of Communication, and then you'll have Dr. Maharaja in the School of Business, guiding you in each respective way. And as for the communications, kind of the concentrations, you'll choose between broadcast or digital media, print and digital media, PR and advertising, and then you have your MBA, kind of like the core courses for that as well. So you take 27 credits from the School of Communication and 27 from the School of Business, and then at the end you get 2 degrees. The kind of people that I usually see in this program, it's really a wide array of people. It could be like people who work in the communications field, but they want to get they want to get a master's degree, and they also want that MBA experience so that they could advance in a different part of their communications career. I also see people who are kind of in the business field, and they want to get their MBA, but they also want these communications classes because they may want to do a pivot in their own career that helps them move forward. So I really see a wide range of people in like diverse professional backgrounds coming into this program, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's all the programs. And I guess something to mention that I always enjoy hearing is that like the students who I work with in these programs, they really like being in this School of Communications because, as we mentioned, we have our experienced faculty, and we have the studios on campus that are part of the School of Communications. We really emphasize kind of hands-on learning and getting direct professional experience that really helps you get a job after you graduate. You might have a portfolio or a really good project under your belt before you're out, which is always helpful to people, and I always hear good things about that. So I know I kind of went through that sort of quickly, but that's just like a very basic overview of the different programs that are offered within the School of Communications. As I kind of mentioned earlier, we have flexible class schedules. Most of the classes are offered in the evenings. Some of them have an online option. So it's good for people who are working full-time and need to work around that. We have some options that can help that work for you. So here, if anybody is interested, we have all of our, it's the contact info for myself, for Dr. Halleck and Dr. Maharaja. If anybody is interested in reaching out to any of us about anything, this is where I kind of wanted to do the Q&A session. So let me open up the chat here. I think it looks like we have at least one question. Okay, we're good. It's not really a question, but that's good. Welcome, Brianna. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, you can feel free to send them in the chat, and you can have any of us answer them. Like I said, I know I went through everything a little bit quickly, so. just give. Okay, so one question: would I need to fill out a FAFSA for scholarship eligibility? I don't necessarily think so, but I encourage all of my students to fill out the FAFSA to get a kind of an idea of where they are for financial aid. It's definitely helpful. I think it would depend on the scholarship. I think some of them probably require that and some of them probably don't. If it's a scholarship through the, like directly through the university, you probably would have to. So to answer that question, I would say yes, you should fill out your FAFSA.
Yes, we would always recommend you complete the FAFSA, and you will be packaged for loans if you do that, and you can always turn those down. You know, if you choose to take some of them, all of them, none of them, that's not a problem, but it's always a good idea to do the FAFSA to make sure that you do get considered for any aid you're eligible for, whether it be loans or scholarships, either internal or third-party funding that might be available. Thanks.
Thanks, Lynn.
Brianna, which of the programs are you looking at?
This is actually easier. I was looking into the communication technology one with the focus in social media.
Okay, are you looking at doing that on campus or online?
Probably online, just with a combination of I work full time and also just COVID craziness.
Have I met you?
I don't think so. I signed up for more information and talked to someone through admissions a couple weeks ago, but I haven't gone to actually visit the campus or anything in a long time.
That's awesome, Brianna. So I guess did we, like I said, when I went through the programs, I went a little bit fast, but was there anything, like anything pressing that you were wondering about the program that we maybe didn't touch on? If you talk to someone in admissions, you may have covered that already.
Could you go into a little more detail about the difference between doing like the thesis versus the professional track? I understand like what the thesis is, but I'm not entirely sure I understand the professional track part of it.
The professional track is you have a choice of 2 of 3 options. One is a course we call directed readings, where you read 6 books and you write a reaction paper on each book, and then you do a final paper, a big paper tying it all together. One of the other 2 courses is what we call directed research, and for that one, students take on an academic research project. Typically, they finish the research project or research paper that they began in the media research course that's required. So they've already got half that work done if they decide to do that option. And the third one is what we call the professional project or the publication project, where let's say you're doing maybe you're concentrating in public relations or advertising. You would work with a local, probably a nonprofit or some kind of local organization, and maybe do an in-depth marketing campaign for them that they would agree to actually implement. So you would need to do 2 of those 3.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And that would replace the requirement for a thesis.
Gotcha.
Any other questions?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, have you applied yet, or do you plan to?
I'm planning to. I was literally working on it this afternoon when I saw that this like open house was happening. So I decided to sign up before I actually hit send on everything.
Well, then those materials will come to me after they go through Tom. So I look forward to seeing them.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that, Brianna. And also, just so you know, like you don't have to have all those documents together at once when you apply.
Okay.
Like you can hit send on the application and submit it, and then start turning in the documents later if you want. You can do it whichever way you want. But I just wanted you to know that.
But Tom doesn't send the material to me until he has it all.
Right.
Okay. Awesome. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm just waiting for recommendations. So I'll send my half in and get them to like pick up and hit the gas and get them done.
Yeah, usually the letters of recommendation are what I see like taking the longest for people.
Yeah.
Just because sometimes you know how it is, you might have to remind them to do it.
Right. Yep.
But yeah, if you have any other questions about about the application process, or like you think of a question that you didn't think of today, you can, on screen is my email address and my phone number. You can feel free to reach out to me absolutely anytime, and I'd be glad to help you out.
Thank you. Thank you guys for your time today.
Same with me, Brianna, and I always like to make clear to new students and prospective students that no question is too stupid for me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, we're glad that you could join us, Brianna. So thank you for coming by also.
Yeah, this is awesome.
So I guess if there are no other questions and no other, like big points to talk about, I think that's about it for this information session. Like I already said, thank you everybody so much for taking some time out this afternoon. And have a good night. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
You too.
Thanks. Have a good one.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.